Okay, good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to the TAT for the chance to be here and share experience today. I think that stability, prosperity, and sustainability are a great combination, and it's extremely important issues that we're discussing. So thank you very much. So today we're going to talk about community-based tourism as a global trend. And I want you to really enjoy your lunch. So I'm going to go over time just a little bit to make you a little bit more hungry, okay? All right? I already talked to the cook. Okay. I'm going to share with you some information. I've been working at the crossroads of responsible tourism and community development for about 15 years. And one of the team that helped to establish Thailand Community-Based Tourism Institute. It's great today that I was asked to wear a Thai-style shirt because it means I don't have to wear the same shirt that you can see in all of my photographs. Yes, I'm not sure how that happened, you see? I promise I have more than one shirt. Okay, so when we're talking about trends, obviously, different trends are opportunities for different kinds of products, and it is important for us to recognize that there are different kinds of community-based tourism products. So at one end, we've got classic CBT, which is an overnight stay, perhaps in a remote rural village. But there are also much more comfortable accommodations, for example, developed through joint investments, and there are short visits, just to visit a craft cooperative or have lunch, which can be fitted into a larger program. So these trends are trends which are opportunities for different kinds of products, okay? Robert already mentioned this, but I think the key distinction to make when we're thinking, is this community tourism or not, is to distinguish between tourism in the community, and community-based tourism. So there's lots of different tourism products which visit villages, but the local people have a passive role, whereas in community-based tourism, the community play an active role. Both ways of organizing tourism can create benefits for communities, but CBT builds far more transferable skills because the community members are doing, planning, acting. And when done successfully, empowers communities to participate in and benefit from and influence the direction of tourism development in their locale. Okay. When this is done successfully, what we have is an inspiring experience of culture and nature based on special aspects of local life that community members feel proud and comfortable to share with guests. This is key for me. People are proud of lots of things, but some things are private and some things we're happy to share. So proud and comfortable to share with guests. Opportunities to do, learn, feel a sense of place and share our experience with our travel companions, our children, our wives, our friends, and with the community members. Okay? But CBT is more than a product and experience. It's also a process. It's a process of training, of building capacity, helping local people to work together as a team to welcome guests, sometimes as a joint investment with the private sector, about preparation and coaching for community members and the partners they need to work together with, tour guides, tour operators, okay? It's about sharing opportunities for work and income in a systematic way, for example, through queues, through community funds. It's about knowing and learning how to manage the positive and negative impacts. And because communities often do not bring direct experience into community tourism, this has to be step by step, reflecting on experience, learning by doing. It's a long-term process, just as Robert was saying earlier. And some funds are used for nature conservation and development. This means the community are not only the beneficiaries of community-based tourism, but they are actively working with us towards a better planet. Yeah, they are actors as well. So we can start off. This is in Myanmar, in KR State. It's a current project that I'm working on with Pochana Suansi from CBT-I, helping local guides the first steps of CBT to confidently present their place and what they're proud of, And the idea is that in the end, this experience builds capacity for local people to represent themselves at all levels, like Kun Surasit from Pamon at the World Tourism Day 2014. We have a strong and proud history of CBT in Thailand, which we all need to be proud of. Okay. It's History 101. Global trends. So in terms of supply, there have been lots of different CBT projects really since the early 90s. Here we've got Actua, which is a community-based tourism network in Costa Rica, CBT in Kenya, in Namibia, in Central Asia. In Mongolia, so the Sustainable Tourism Networks say the people are nomads. The communities move because they have to move with the grazing. When we want to go to visit the community, we need to use a GPS and a mobile phone. Where are you now? Amazing, huh? They can do this. And close to home, Cambodia, community-based ecotourism in Laos, Indonesia, and Thailand. Okay, so things have moved a long way since those early projects, which were quite a lot of academic ideas, a lot of development projects, but not so connected to the reality of the tourism industry or the needs of tourists. And we now know successful CBT requires a mixture of tourism and community development skills. This is key, and it's quite difficult because honestly, if we think about it, the career paths of social workers and tourism workers are really different, even from high school education. It's difficult for us to have a skill set which combines social work and tourism work, and it's actually something we have to consciously try to get these skills on board, okay? As Robert said again, private sector partners are key to success, but they also need to be open and to invest time, which is so difficult because businesses are so busy, and be prepared to try new ideas. Community members need training and experience to understand and welcome tourists and to work effectively with tour operators and tour guides. We can't only train the communities, we must train the tour operators and tour guides specifically in this issue. Okay, how to work together as a good team and to manage the impacts of tourism. And supporting organizations must understand the needs and limitations of both partners and facilitate an open and trusting space for step-by-step learning by doing, which again means we don't over-romanticize communities, we don't demonize the private sector. We recognize different people have different histories and experiences and bring different things to the table, and we need to work as a team. Okay, so is CBT a global trend? Okay, simply, yes it is, and it has been for a while now. So there isn't much research on community-based tourism, but CBI, which is part of the Netherlands Centre for Promotion of Imports from Developing Countries, has been supporting CBT around the world systematically for more than 10 years, and they have done research on markets, European markets for CBT. As far back as 2009, they were saying between 2 to 4% of European markets are opportunities for a pure CBT, really in a remote or a rural area. And between 20 and 40% would be a possible market for shorter products, 1 or 2 hours, day trips, things which can be included in a 1 or 2 week itinerary. And at that time, they identified 4 key markets, people with double income and no children and an interest in adventure and local experiences, active seniors, families with children who would like their children to see the world outside the walls of the school, to meet people, to have educational experiences, and backpackers. So, fast forward to now, 2015, and CBI are still saying community-based tourism is becoming more popular among European tourists. And the market segments which they highlight as having most potential are Germany, France, Spain, the Netherlands, and the UK. And this research is all online, it's freely available. It's also interesting that in their general research about EU market trends, many of the trends identified for 2015 also represent opportunities for community-based tourism if they are harnessed in the right way, such as authenticity, sorry, I know that you don't like the word, specialized holidays, new target groups, and these include groups that we know from experience are often interested in CBT, such as seniors, families with older children, multi-generational travel, okay? Concern for sustainability, also a trend identified by CBI. But of course, there are also challenges and obstacles. So these include concerns over liability, insurance. It is very difficult to have solid liability and insurance in community tourism. And outside this list, all of us in this room who read the newspaper and watch TV, we can also see on the horizon global political instability, fear, terrible, sad things going on in Turkey and in Indonesia. And also, it's difficult for us to see how much is climate change going to impact the future of tourism. I mean, this is a huge issue. It's the elephant in the room, and people really don't know how to manage it. It's very difficult. So this is in the frame as well. So do you want community-based tourism? Well, to be honest, tourists are not directly asking for community-based tourism, okay? However, many experiences developed through a CBT process are well positioned to benefit from other trends, like complementary trends, okay? So what are these other trends? What are they? What are the opportunities? Okay, first of all, we do continue to see evidence that there is increasing demand for tourism which is somehow good and green, providing benefits for society, community, and environment. TripAdvisor have shown that TripAdvisor users are more interested in making eco-friendly choices. And this, hot off the press, 2015, this is, a lot of this is based on Western and United States data. 1 in 5 consumers say they are prepared to pay more for a holiday with a company that has a better social and environmental record, rising from 2012 and 2010. So people are generally more concerned about social and environmental problems, which we see on Facebook and on the TV all the time, okay? How much this pushes them to buy green products, we'll talk about that. This is perhaps more relevant in terms of pure marketing and market potential. This is an excellent report called The Rise of Experiential Travel, and it was produced by Peak, the destination management company, who are experts in cultural and adventure and CBT tourism. Arguably the most significant systemic trend in worldwide tourism is demand for experiential travel, which typically means to convey the idea of more immersive, local, authentic, adventurous travel. They're not saying CBT, but they're talking about CBT. Okay. Other interesting research, future traveler tribes trying to see in 2030 how are we going to be able to identify different market groups in non-traditional ways. They are looking for tribes based on values, behaviors, and needs of travelers. And tribes they have identified include ethical travelers, cultural purists, and also social capital seekers. Okay, they only want to take photographs for Facebook and Instagram, but still they're in the community, and often they're very nice people as well, and sometimes that's me, I have to admit. So, growth for demand in adventure travel. According to the Adventure Travel Trade Association, or ATA, the adventure travel market in the US, South America, and Europe has experienced an average yearly size increase of 65% between 2009 to 12. And one of their key definitions for adventure travel is cultural immersion. So again, a complementary trend, which is an opportunity. Voluntourism. According to Condé Nast Traveler, 47% said they are interested in volunteer vacations. Again, according to ATA, they did a survey of 140 members and found that more than half currently run volunteer trips, and reasons included growing awareness and demand for giving back. Okay, CBT and voluntourism are not the same thing, but communities which have practiced working together, setting goals, making plans, identifying needs, these are fantastic places to think about needs-based, useful volunteer activities. They are well positioned for this market. Also interesting that they reported that there's a spread of ages for volunteering, from people who are under 20 right through up to 60 years old. and also that slightly more female travelers are interested than male travelers. And this rings with something I heard last year where Carl Needham of Peak also said in the meeting I went to, really women are travel decision makers often for cultural and adventure travel. Not so much maybe adventure, but cultural immersion travel. So when we are marketing, when we're choosing the words we use, the images we use to market, we should be learning to speak to Jane rather than to Tarzan. And they experienced, there they are, Tarzan's listening. We all know that Tarzan's listening, okay? Yeah, this is reality, yeah? Jane's like, I know where we should go on holiday this year, dear. Yes, okay, whatever you say. Okay, now, there are other trends which, again, if we know how to harness them, can increase our market impact because people are speaking languages which have values which are very similar to community-based tourism. But sometimes we're not talking to them in the same language that they are talking, okay? So there's a huge trend now towards local markets, local food, local shopping. Certainly in Europe, local, if you just say this word, local shopping, lots of associations about it being good and ethical and delicious and fresh spring into people's minds. So how can we link CBT with the idea of local in an attractive way? Fair trade. In 2013, shoppers spent 5.5 billion euros on fair trade products. Fair trade which seeks to provide a better deal, a fairer deal, a safer deal for small-scale producers in coffee, bananas, all kinds of industries. So again, fair trade shares many values and goals with CBT. It's a very well-known brand, especially in the UK, in Germany, in the Netherlands. People know about it on the street. So how can we harness that? It's already being done in South Africa. So here we have fair trade in tourism South Africa. They have adapted fair trade criteria to holiday vacations, and here in the Guardian, top 10 fair trade holidays. Okay, so this is a language which is very similar to the language of CBT and allows us to communicate directly with large markets. Okay, of course, closer to home in ASEAN, there's huge potential. So I think CBT as learning centers in the ASEAN region is a huge potential opportunity and trend. So ASEAN, in addition to its more than 600 million people and its importance of regional travel flows, has 6,500 higher education institutes and 12 million post-secondary students. And students will be trying more and more to learn outside the classroom because we can see the huge problems which are facing our world, such as global warming. We are not succeeding in solving those problems in the four walls of a class. So teachers will increasingly take the students out into the field, and CBT is well managed. There is food, there is accommodation, there are resource people who are trained at presenting. This is ideally situated to welcome these people. Okay. When we design CBT for educational markets, we can add value by designing programs based on learning objectives, tailor, package our experiences for the learning objective of the school teacher or the club director or whatever. Okay, moving from what to how. This is a product which is a plate of salad. Value is added by turning this into a lecture about the herbal or medicinal properties of the salad, and then by teaching people how to make the salad, adding value layer after layer. Okay. Let's also look at tour operator demand and what opportunities this presents. So first of all, we can see that there is gradually a push towards sourcing more sustainable tourism through certification systems such as the Travel Life or Greenleaf in Thailand. It's very interesting that the industry is also starting to pay for its own social and environmental change. So we have organizations like the Travel Foundation in the UK and Futurists in Germany, big companies like TUI, Thomas Cook, Keone. They are giving money to these foundations to implement practical projects to learn on the ground how to make tourism more sustainable. Okay. TUI conducted some interesting research in 2010. They interviewed 4,000 travelers from 8 countries, and one of the things they learned was that half the people who they interviewed, and these are just, excuse the roughness, but they're just normal tourists. They're not, deep green tourists. Just this normal, ordinary, lovely, mainstream tourists, half of them were interested in a sustainable holiday if one is available. So TUI then developed a plan from 2012. They had lots of objectives to use more certified hotels, to ask their staff to do more volunteering, all kinds of things, and they've been reporting on this. And this year, one of the pledges is, we will deliver 10 million greener and fairer holidays per year by 2020, enabling more local people to share in the benefits of tourism. And on the ground, that means when they have to ask, what is a fairer holiday? What is a better holiday? CBT has some criteria, has some firm, concrete reasons why it is a better product which can be presented. An example which is already here now is a cooperation between TUI and a Cypriot company called Aeolos, and they're helping to develop tourism in Tres Alais, which is called Tres Alais Eco Village. I interviewed TUI about this as part of some research. The fascinating thing about this is, not only have TUI partnered with Aeolos to create an experience of Cyprus with local families, that's reasonably normal now, but TUI have branded this as part of their TUI collection of specifically sustainable products. And I contacted the manager of this product about 2 months ago to ask her, is it working? Is it selling? She said it's up by 250% over 2014. So it's working. We've got sales and sustainability. Okay, so this begs the question of scaling up. CBT, I agree, isn't a mass product. It's always going to be quite dynamic because we're talking about lots of people and rural situation. However, it can certainly be enjoyed by mainstream tourists. And many communities would like to welcome more guests, and there is still unmet demand for local authentic experiences. So, how do we scale up sales and drive more positive impacts sustainably? How do we go beyond tokenism? This is an extremely challenging question. This is the question that I spent the whole of last year trying to answer because I went to do a master's in Leeds, and my thesis question was, how can UK tour operators and their ground agents source and sell more sustainable tourism? How can we go beyond one brochure, one product, tokenism, to one brochure, 15 products, systematic? How can we actually do this? I interviewed 10 ground agents around the world and 10 UK tour operators of different sizes. And I found some interesting information, and it's also interesting for us as government as well to think, okay, how are we actually going to deal with these kinds of results? I found there are 3 pillars. Okay, first of all, driving the sales of sustainable or CBT requires nurturing a pro-sustainability culture inside tour operators first. Basically, if we're not in our own company focusing on, of course not exclusively, but taking seriously being sustainable, it's never going to happen in a systematic way. It will always be tokenism. Okay, just one goodwill, put it in the brochure, everyone's happy, yeah? But the only way to make it sustainable is if sustainability is done in a systematic way in the company. So the first thing that has to happen is that the company themselves has to orientate itself towards sustainable tourism. Secondly, proactively collaborate with ground agents and other partners towards sustainable tourism. And finally, and unbelievably important, is at the market really add value to sustainable tourism. And often this hasn't happened because sustainable has been a demand from, for example, European operators to local ground agents. But when we've worked really hard and developed green hotels, developed amazing products, they haven't helped us to market them. It's just been sitting in the brochure next to everything else. So we have to see the whole cycle. So inside the operator, we need to embed sustainability at the heart of staff's daily tasks. I don't mean that they only think about sustainability, but in the hiring criteria, it's mentioning sustainability. In job descriptions, people have KPIs related to sustainability. You must find per year an extra 5 or 10 or 5% of green hotels or CBT projects. We need to use sustainability criteria to identify better products. Departments need to work together to ask the question, how can we together, product operations, marketing, health and safety, work to source and sell more CBT or sustainable experiences? And we have to recognize and reward achievements of staff. Very often when you talk to sustainability managers or staff, what happens if you manage to find a fantastic new green hotel? Nothing really. What happens if you excel in making your product or your tour greener? People give me a pat on the back. Other things are incentivized. People get rewarded for their performance, but for some reason, there's no reward for performance in making the world a kinder place for people and the environment. It's very strange. Between partners, ground agents need to understand outbound operators' key priorities, which includes, the experience being suitable for the market, price and value for money, trustworthy partners. It includes helping to solve bottlenecks such as health and safety, hygiene, insurance, but it also includes helping to craft unique, value-adding, amazing, memorable experiences, and it includes sustainability. Ground agents should support local suppliers, like communities, to offer sustainable products, help suppliers, help communities as a team to understand and to improve their health and safety performance. This is a massive bottleneck. Health and safety in the UK, for example, if health and safety say, after all the work has been done, this product does not meet our criteria, it just stops. All the work stops. It's a dead end. So we need to help the communities to understand these bottlenecks in the supply chain and solve them. Okay, outbound operators need to make sure sustainability is on the agenda. So at the WTM, at the ITB, at Singapore, sustainability is one thing we will talk about in our 45-minute or half-an-hour meeting today. Outbound operators need to request sustainable tourism more proactively, work as a team with ground agents to develop better experiences, and be more proactive marketing and selling sustainable products. Is this about people in this room? Okay, is anybody here from an outbound operator? Okay, but I think as well, with the TAT, sometimes we're so eager and to get people to make business with us that sometimes we also, through politeness, don't say to the operators, you're asking for, please ask for more sustainable products, and please help us to market them and sell them, Okay, there's diplomatic ways of doing this, but please be proactive. All the pressure can't be on the supply side to create these experiences. Okay, in terms of marketing, a key thing is to task sales teams specifically to sell more sustainable products. So in the case of the TUI example in Cyprus, the sales manager was given a specific goal to increase sales for this sustainable product by this %, and it was just integrated into his ordinary daily work. Okay. All right, so this is the final part of the presentation. Okay, so it looks like community-based tourism is in trend. It's a fun, authentic experience. It can link with handmade, fair trade, local, organic, and all these other trends that we see in society. But still, it is tough to sell. It's difficult to sell and to market community-based tourism. That's interesting. On the product side, okay, we need to add value by making sure the excursion is really, really special. But as I said, special efforts in product development must be matched by special efforts in marketing. We all have to help along the chain to show clearly why CBT is different and better to the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of village sightseeing and other similar tours, and this is not an easy thing to do. Okay. One problem is too many CBTs rely on sustainability as a key marketing message, but sustainability is more of a decision tipper. When everything else is more or less equal, sustainability tips our decision to buy that experience. And we need to do better communicating the quality of the experience. The problem with selling sustainable or good or green as a marketing message is that we are surrounded by bad news. Even though we're all happy and we're all nice people, still, we're surrounded by bad news about homelessness, poverty, global warming. And it means that we are confused. So tourists say they care about the environment and poverty, and they are slowly learning more and slowly changing. However, the reality is the problems are too big, too complex, too many. All the time we're learning about all the things that we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't eat this, we shouldn't drive there. It's just overwhelming. It means people become confused. They don't know what to do first, what food to buy first, organic or healthy or this or that. And the result is they don't always act differently. They prefer emotionally sustainable, but they aren't searching for it. So they fall back on price and habit and convenience. So what are we supposed to do? Okay. We need to communicate these amazing experiences in simple, fun, hopeful, inspiring ways. We need to offer people easy choices, such as CBT can be half day, a 2-hour experience. If you want to go to the trekking village, but not trek too far, we can have some transport to assist you. And say to people, congratulations, not telling them that they're a bad person. Don't say you're a bad person, you should choose this to be good. You're a good person and we are already doing all the hard work for you. Okay, so what we have on our time is, what we have on our side is standardization. Standardization is an advantage for CBT because everything now is standard. Standard hotel, standard hotel, standard hotel. And the result is people are bored. This is a huge advantage for us if we know how to communicate community-based tourism as a better experience, a warmer welcome, more fun, more hands-on, you get the chance to do it, to try it, more unique, more inspiring, fresher, tastier, deeper local insights. CBT is a deeper local insight because local people are sharing specifically what they feel proud and comfortable to share with you, so it is incomparably deeper. You have the chance to experience not only people and nature, but the relationship between people and nature. And also saying, despite all the differences, we're not so different. Don't be afraid of difference. We're not so different. CBT is a point of meeting, and it's safe. This is Kia, safe and sound. And finally, somehow, showing all of these good things that we're doing, community funds, conservation work, natural resource management, packaging it in a simple way which is communicating to the tourists, you and I can save the world. Just a little bit, but we can save the world together. We don't have to feel that all these problems are so overwhelming that we can't do anything at all. Okay. We do this through telling personal stories. By telling stories about people you will meet. You will enjoy soup which is made by this grandma, this uncle. You'll meet this person or that person. Personal stories are what make people wake up and switch on. Okay, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very, very simple. So this is an advert for Ogmore Castle in Wales. It's an advert for basically families that want to have a natural, non-commercial experience. And it says Disneyland is 5,000 miles this way, meaning your family is as far away from commercialism as you can get in this beautiful place. So welcome. It links the feeling that you are looking for. When I travel with my son and daughter, what do I want to buy? Actually, I want to buy beautiful time close together. That's what I really want from this experience. Using marketing which thinks about how do people want to feel and links it with a sense of place. Here you will smile wider. Sense of place. Maybe you want to go on your own and meditate and think about the world. In this place, it's not only a tree. It's not just a beautiful tree. This is the place where you will think deeper, search deeper. So we don't have to use lots of words. It can be the right image and the right word. Okay. Finally, we need to use a balanced approach. It's difficult in international supply chains, but community members should participate as much as possible, in defining target tourists, how often and in what volumes that they come. And this is the final slider. What is success? Community and guests and partners are satisfied. There are tangible benefits for community and the environment. There's profit for partners, and there are consistent visitors interested to learn and share and well prepared to travel with respect. So, thank you very much. ครับขอบคุณครับ